to prepare this presentation. And I also got to understand many of the things about the application of IoT in pharmaceutical division. I hope I will be enlightening you with some of the fundamental concepts related to this topic.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a few of us are aware of many of the things which my slides will be presenting, but hopefully it will be a revision for every one of us. Feel free to interrupt me in between if you want to share any other further information related to this topic, or if you want to ask some question. So we will. It will be good for us to discuss things very frequently during the presentation. Thank you, Mukesh, for introducing me, although your voice was not clear, so I'll just introduce myself once again. I'm Professor Ghanshyam. I'm working with Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I can see many of you are quite known to me as well, because many of you are actually working with Common Women Engineering College Ajmer. I have met many of you personally also. So I'm working with Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering with Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. I am working with this institute since 1999. It's almost 21 years with me, for me to be with this institute. I am working into the area of photonics, where my students and our team also working with some of the photonic sensors which are being a part of this pharmaceutical industry to as kind of an applications. But so far we have not did our research, not done anything related to the Internet of Things. But yes, those photonic sensors can also be connect with the Internet of Things application as well. So I'll just cover some of the important things. The content would be for this presentation that we will discuss a little bit of concept of Internet of Things, what is the history for this and how it works, what are the current status and future prospects for this technology, some of the important application other than the pharmaceutical industry. Then we will come to the main topic, the future of pharma, how the IoT is going to change the pharmaceutical industry. And what are the benefits, possible benefits of IoT in pharmaceutical division, and then conclusion and references. So just before starting with the presentation, I'll just share you a few interesting things, like just because of this COVID era, since we all are mostly, most of the times are sitting at home and are actually bound to work with internet only and bound to read the newspaper or the news article from internet only. So recently I happened to in touch with some kind of informative news article which was available on internet, and that was actually talking about the vaccine development for this COVID virus and how the IoT is actually working closely for vaccine development for the COVID-19. See, as you know, the vaccine development takes place in some sort of phases. We just can't come up with a vaccine. Okay, this is the vaccine, and it will cure the COVID patient, or it will protect you from the COVID virus just by inserting that vaccine into the human body. We just can't claim, because as per the process, the scientists or the researchers or even the manufacturers, they have to come up with the proof with certain phases, testing phases, that this vaccine will actually work. We can't just insert that vaccine to the human directly and we'll say, okay, now you are protected from the COVID. And in case if by chance he got sick in coming time with the COVID vaccine, he is going to sue the company, or he is going to take the legal action against the company. So that's why the people associated with the COVID vaccine development, they do take care, a lot of take care, not only the COVID vaccine, but all sort of the vaccines which had been developed for various to protect from various viruses, had to gone through various testing stages as well. So like we go for the vaccine development, then we go for the testing phases. In first phase, like very few people are being used as volunteers. The vaccines are being inserted into their body, then their healths are being monitored for some time. And once this phase is okay, then they go for the another phase that is called second phase, then third phase, then fourth phase. And as soon as they keep on changing the phases, the number of volunteers increases. So this IoT is actually helping because we cannot place a doctor or a medical practitioner with each and everyone while monitoring his health conditions while he is under observation with the vaccine. So the people are actually using various machines with these volunteers because volunteers are supposed to come to the company office. They've been given the vaccine and they are asked to go to their home after 2 or 3 days. And even if they are at home, they may get some kind of side effect because of this vaccine. So their health is being monitored with some sort of machine which are actually inserted into their body or which are close to their body, and that machine actually delivers some kind of information which is to be read by the medical practitioners and the researchers and the scientists which are who are actually closely associated with this vaccine development process, and they do take care of feedback from the human body or from the volunteer's body with these machines only. And these machines are actually connected to the medical practitioners or to the vaccine development labs with the process of Internet of Things technology only. So that is how the IoT is actually helping us even in this COVID era to come up with the vaccine development. So IoT is going to place it's one of the important role if we will get the COVID vaccine in near future. So that article was kindly related with this theory only. So I would recommend all of you to sometimes, if whenever you get some time, just sit on the internet and try to find out some information related to the COVID vaccine development process. So you will be actually very grateful to know that how efficiently and how hard work is being done by the scientists and the researchers in this area. We all, being as a user, are actually waiting for the COVID vaccine. But since we are already into the technology side, so we should also give some focus to the process also. Okay, how much the hard work is being placed by the scientists and the researchers towards COVID vaccine development. We are not the politicians, or we are not just the government employee or a common people just to wait and watch and always pray for let the COVID vaccine comes and let us get free from this COVID virus. It's okay. And being a human nature, we all should also be pray for this. But let us involve ourselves. At least, if not, we are helping to the process. We can actually understand the process, and we can circulate this information to the common people. That there will be a time, the time minimum number of days or minimum number of months or minimum number of years has to place before the COVID vaccine will actually come into the market for commercial uses. Anyway, so few concepts for the Internet of Things. I'm sure many of you, or indeed all of you, must be knowing all these information, all these concepts about the IoT. IoT is a network of physical objects or things. When I say physical objects, so it covers everything: people, the machines, the devices, everything embedded with hardware. So hardware may consist of the circuits, the sensors, the devices, and the software, which actually used to run all these hardware or to make compatible each other, and the connectivity methods, which we call the protocol, how they are actually connected, how these hardwares will be connected with each other. And all these three all together enables the objects to collect and exchange data. The purpose is remains same. We actually wanted to collect the data and we wanted to exchange the data. And for this, we need a network which will connect the hardware, the software, and along with the particular connectivity methods, whether we are using a wireline connection or a wireless connection, which protocol we are using for exchanging the information. Because whenever we wanted to collect and exchange data, we need to actually take care of the safety and security precautions as well. So that's why connectivity method is an important part of Internet of Things technology. The second definition is things having identities and virtual personalities operating in smart spaces using intelligent interfaces to connect and communicate within social environmental and user context. Similarly, the concept of connectivity is beyond the smartphones or laptops. If we just think about the IoT, we think we are connecting people with the smartphones and the laptops. No, now the technology is beyond these two also. Now we are connecting cars, we are connecting smart homes, we have wearable healthcare devices. I can wear a device on my body that will always monitor my health, and it will actually communicate my health information to my doctor, and my doctor will keep on tracking my health through in these devices and will always be guiding me according to the information he gets from these devices. Similarly, the smart cities and many more. So when we talk about the Internet of Things, that doesn't mean that we are talking about the smartphones or the laptops. No, it may cover, it may or may not cover, but it may cover the connected cars, smart homes, healthcare devices, wearables, smart cities, and any other things. It beside it bridges the gap between the physical and digital world. And why we do so? To improve the quality and productivity of the industry, our social life, and other segments. Now, it's a very interesting thing. 10 years back, today is 2020, that is 2020, and 10 years back, we were talking about the Internet of People when the world population was 6.8 billion. So I'm just talking about the left side diagram when the world population was 6.8 billion, and at the time the connected devices which were connected to each other, the number of connected devices were 12.5 billion. Means each person was more or less having 1.83 connecting device on an average 10 years back. And now 10 years later, that is today 2020, in the era of 2020, we are talking about the Internet of Things. When the world population is somewhere around 7.6 billion, now you see the connected things which are actually connected together using this internet, and the numbers have gone to 212 billion. That means each of us is actually connected to 27.89 devices as on today. So this is only the average figure. Somebody may be connected with 200 and somebody may not be connected with even a single device, but this is the average that each one on this globe is actually connected with 27.89 devices as on today because of this technology, that is Internet of Things. So why this things word is being given a bold stages? When we say Internet of Things means either the people connected to the internet, means people are connected to each other. Things connected to the internet, things means other physical devices are connected to the internet, and things connected to the things means within this technology it is also possible that two machines are talking to each other. There is no human interaction in between of them. Two machines are talking to each other. That is also things connected to the things, and that is called as machine to machine. And that is why sometimes you'll heard many other words for internet in place of the Internet of Things. Like sometimes we call it as machine to machine Skynet or Internet of Everything. So this is a bigger stage. Like today we are calling it as Internet of Things, and the next stage is Internet of Everything. You just imagine what could be the connected with the internet, everything. So in that case, it will be an Internet of Everything, and this term is actually coined by a company Cisco. So Cisco people are working on this technology, and they are actually wanted to come up with a different kind of concept than the Internet of Things, and they have wanted to come with Internet of Everything. And what could be possible with the Internet of Things? An ecosystem. We can generate an ecosystem with connected physical objects that are accessible through the internet for everyone who is connected with the internet. Now, if I ask you, or if we think in a direction that what could be the main benefit of Internet of Things, so we can say, okay, we can connect with many people, we can get the information, and we can drive our cars smoothly, we can build our home smoothly, we can run our home smoothly, we can do a business smoothly. So these are the various advantages. But in nutshell, if we try to understand the advantage in one word, the first one is the wisdom. So try to see this advantage of the pyramid. So at the bottom layer, this is the data. So with the Internet of Things application, we are capable to send or connect or exchange data at a very high speed and in a very huge amount. So data could be representing some sort of symbols only. So what are the benefit to get the data exchange through the internet? We get some information. So once the data is transferred, we actually get the information. Like data is every day related to this COVID. Since we are talking about the application in pharmaceutical industry, so I will be using more example related to the COVID, like in COVID. So what the data we are getting every day. So you can see every day the government is trying to come up with the data, how many patients are there in each city as on today. So every day, how many new patients, new COVID patients are adding to the each and every city. So we have a data, and with this data, what we get? We get the information. So once the data is come out through this network, we get the information, and information with this information, we get the answer to some of our questions: who, what, where, when. It's like, so we can actually get the okay, these days the number of patients, COVID patients in Jaipur are coming together, altogether 400 plus every day. So, okay, and that too also the data can be divided into the colony wise. So we are getting the data in which colony the virus is more circulating, in which colony the virus is less circulating. So every day, so we have an information. So when I supposed to go to the area where the COVID virus is circulating more, so I had to take more precautions. So that's the great thing that with the data, we actually get the information. And once we have the information, we get the knowledge. So we have a knowledge about these areas. Okay, we should avoid to go into that areas because the COVID virus is circulating more over those areas or over those offices. So we actually get the knowledge. And with this knowledge, we understand the thing also. Okay, then with this knowledge only, now because of this COVID data every day, which is circulated by the government agencies and which is being shared to all people and a public platform. With the internet, you can actually get the information. So your understanding actually increases about the viruses also. We actually get a little bit of fear inside our mind, and because of this fear only, since we are a human being, so because of this fear only, we try to be more precautious because of this understanding only. And once we develop the understanding, then the topmost stage of this pyramid is wisdom, means evaluated understanding. Even as on today, whether you are an educated person or you are an uneducated person, whether you are a businessman or you are a service-oriented person, whether you are a student or whether you are a housewife, whether you are a doctor, whether you are in a police force or you are in a security force, everybody's wisdom is increased about this COVID virus just because of the information which is passed on to each other with use of the internet. And that is why our wisdom is increased too much high, because now everyone knows that COVID is a problem for everyone, and we have to be very precautious. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our kids. We have to take care of our colony. We have to take care of our city. So everybody is actually working to that direction, and because of this, so the overall story is, so what is the best advantage of an Internet of Things is that we increase or we get wisdom, and all these are connected to each other. The more data that is being created with the Internet IoT, the better understanding and the better wisdom people can actually obtain. So it is possible. I guess 100 years back, there were some viruses like the Chichak virus, and there were many other viruses which had ruled the world throughout the years. But at the time, there was no information sharing platform for us. So at the time, the deaths were more. But since these days we have information sharing platforms, so we get the information very frequently, very fast. We get the information how to protect ourselves, what are the precautionary measures we can actually take care of ourselves. So this is all because of the internet and the connection with the things. That is why the Internet of Things. We are actually creating humans, actually turning the data into the wisdom. So this is the best advantage of this technology. Now IoT defines new dimension of connectivity. So one question may arise in our mind. So what is IoT? When already we have an internet, then why this IoT is something different? No, it's more or less it's the same. Yes, it is more or less the same, but it's something different in terms of it is actually defining a new dimension of connectivity. Like we can have any time of connection, anytime connection on the move. If we are moving somewhere, we are outdoor or indoors, no matters. We are staying inside the home or we are going outside the home. You always have a connectivity with you. You always get the information, always get the data. You can always increase your knowledge and understanding. Whether it's night or daytime, connection is always available. Any place connection, whether you are working with the PC or you are away from the PC and you are with the mobile only, you're outdoor or on the move, any place connection is possible. Anything connection. So this is more important. In between the PC, even to two PC can talk to each other, human to human, not using a PC. We are not using any PC. Even then, we can talk to each other. Human to things. I can actually control my refrigerator. I can control my laptop. I can control my office PC while sitting at a distance far away from those equipments. And things to things. To a laptop, to PC, to machines can actually talk to each other. And this things to things is mostly used in industry and mostly used in medical sites also. History. So let's go back to the history. So when we talk about the Internet of Things, the first time this word was actually coined by Kevin Aston. Now this Kevin Aston, this gentleman had worked with a company. He was not an technologist. He was simply an employee working for a company, P&G. You might have heard about this P&G, Procter and Gamble. So he was working with that company, and his job was to look to take care of the supply chain management. So at the time, the RFID technology was introduced in recent. So he actually coined this terminology IoT using the RFID technology. So he actually presented a plan for to his seniors, by thinking that he'll get promotion on the basis of that presentation. He introduced this terminology, that is Internet of Things. However, in 1999, when he introduced this, nobody actually bothered for this technology, and people actually didn't. This technology didn't turn up onto the ground for next 7 or 8 years. However, in 2010, when Google did a survey to generate its Google map, and when they had introduced the street view, you know the street view of Google Maps, like you can actually see all the street onto the Google map. And during that, the people came to know that Google has actually stolen a lot of data from the people's Wi-Fi, own personal Wi-Fi also. So at that time, this terminology was once again in the picture, that Internet of Things. The Google might have used the concept of Internet of Things to steal the data from personal data from the people while doing the street view. Similarly, on the same year, the Chinese government has also decided to work upon IoT for next and to come up with many technologies in next 5 or 6 years or so. And then the many European countries, the German and the German companies, they also jump into this technology and they started implementing this technology for their industry purposes. So actually, this IoT technology get a kick from 2010 onwards only, and now 2020, most of us, every one of us is actually aware of about this technology and actually a part of this technology. Many of us are actually using many of the things which are connected to each other as part of the IoT. So far, why we are terming it as IoT, that yes, we are actually connecting many things to the internet. That's why Internet of Things, but not the Internet of everything. So still the Internet of everything is yet to achieve, but many companies have already started to working on that direction, and people are going to cover everything. Even if you don't want to be part of that connection or not, or even if you don't want to be a part of that internet or not, they will cover you. So that will be even the different kind of technology, which will have plus points and the minus points as well. So Kevin Essen, named as a father of IoT, he believed that IoT could turn the word into the data that could be used to make macro decisions on resource utilization. Information is a great way to reduce waste and increase efficiency, and that's really what the Internet of Things provides. So these days in the industry, we can actually save a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of waste material if we are actually working with the IoT. Because with the IoT, the data can be generated, and with this data, we can actually increase our understanding that where the waste is actually produced, at what process the more and more waste is produced, we can actually control that process more efficiently, and this is how we can actually reduce the our losses, and we can increase the efficiency with the help of IoT. The journey for any technology, the names comes suddenly, but that doesn't mean that the technology is emerges few years back only, but it is a long journey, and you can actually connect it with the 1830 when the telegraph was invented. Then by second half of this 19th century, first machine-to-machine application was introduced. Nikola Tesla, he predicted smart devices way back in 1920. In 1980, first vending machine, which was considered as a first smart device ever, were introduced to the world, and we started using vending machine 1980 onwards. Then 1990, John Romke makes first post by internet. Then Kevin Austin himself in 1999 proposes WWW, this World Wide Web, that we can actually share the data amongst the users. By 2008, number of IoT's devices. So this is very important. In 2008, the number of IoT devices exceeded the world's population. And in 2020, estimated of connected IoT devices is reaches 30.3 billion. So this much of devices are already being connected to the IoT technology. And some of the well-known example for IoT application in today's, like we are having wearable devices, fitness trackers. These are the companies name: Jawbona, Fitbit, Pebble. So these are the apps, or these are the company names which are actually providing you wearable devices to track your fitnesses. Home automations, Nest, For Control, LifeX. This company, the Nest, this was taken over by the Google in 2011 as part of their IoT extension program. Then industrial assess monitoring, we are using General Electric, AGT, International, and we are also having smart energy meters. And now smart energy meters, most of the government agencies are actually trying to replace our old energy meters from home, and they wanted to place smart energy meters that will actually be for a user, that will be very tough to play with the metering system of the energy consumption. That's why the government wanted to come up with the smart energy meters. If you do anything wrong, your electricity will gone automatically, will go away automatically. So that is a smart metering solution are also now coming to the commercial market. Now, concept is ambiguation in between IoT, IoE, M2M. So these are the different terminologies. You will heard a lot about the Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, machine to machine. Somebody says industrial internet, somebody says embedded internet, somebody says industry 4. So all these things are little different from each other. However, the process or the purpose is same, to connect things with the internet world, but only the range, what they are going to connect will actually get changed. Like in M2M, so if you see this picture, this M2M is the technology that allows both wireless and wired systems to communicate with each devices of the same, with other devices of same time. So on the y-axis, you'll see the machine and object and devices. So this M2M technology is going to cover only these two things, either the machine or the object and the devices. While this web of things is also going to connect the machine, the device, and the people as well. While Internet of Things, IoT is going to connect the people, the devices, and the machine. And if you go with the Internet of Everything, this will bringing together the people, the process, the data, and things to make network connection more relevant and valuable than ever before. So this Internet of Everything is going to cover the machine, the devices, the people, and the world. So these are the very working difference in between these technologies, like Internet of Things or Internet of Everything or machine to machine. However, all more or less the advantage of all these are same. same, but obviously in the coming time when Internet of Everything technology will be possible, actually on the ground, it will have the more advantage than any other technology, because it will be covering industry application as well and the common people application as well. Again, a sort of journey we can understand with this in the technology form, like pre-internet era, when we were not actually connected to the internet, we were having a connection between human to human using the telephone or using the fixed and mobile telephony. We were able to send SMSs or messages to each other. However, with introducing some sort of smart network, after introducing some smart networks, we were able to reach to the second stage, that was internet of content, where we have started communicating to each other via using of emails, and those emails, with these emails, it was easy to share the information with us. It was easy to get some kind of entertainment, news or entertainment media to connect with the internet as well. And again, by placing some smart IT platform and services, we reached to the other services, that is Internet of Services, then which is also popularly known as Web 2. And with this technology, we were able to use e-commerce or e-productivity. So I'm sure we all are have gone through all these stages when the e-commerce and e-product 10 years back or 15 years back, the e-commerce word was very popular. But these days, nobody actually uses this e-commerce word. Now everybody is using Internet of Things. Similarly, with induction of by introducing a smartphone and other application, we reached to the internet of people. Now we reached to the era of 2010, when the people were connected via the social media. We started working with the Skype. We started using the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter more often with the internet of people. Again, with addition of smart devices, objects, and tagging with each other, now we are already into the era of Internet of Things, where machine to machine, man to man or human to human were actually available even the pre-internet era. But now machine to machine interaction is also possible. Identification tracking is possible, monitoring is possible, metering is possible. We are using semantically structured and shared data, and still you can see this arrow is going forward, that will take us to the new application or a new era. And what is actually driving these all these changes? Only the smart data and the ambient context. So if we will be start working with the smart data and ambient context, we will be entering into a new era, not defined so far, but maybe the Internet of Everything will be the new era in coming time. Just to have a check. Everybody is listening to me? कोई सोच तो नहीं गया? Just to have a check on that.
Yeah, here, sir.
Because the advantage are with online teaching or online lecturing is good, because everybody can listen from a far distance also. But for a speaker, it's very hard to realize if the people are actually listening or not. So that's why I just checked it.
Sir, we are here.
So if anyone wanted to interrupt me in between, or if wanted to share any information, you are welcome, because I am not very master in this topic. I have just gathered some information from the internet only, and I just got some information because of this schedule only.
Sir,
so
sorry.
Feel free to interrupt me.
Sir, I'm Shyam Sundar Agarwal. Sorry to interrupt you, but you have said something. So I am telling you that in chat box, there are few comments continuously coming. So I am telling you that, sir, we are listening. Your flow of presentation is very good. Then the second is, sir, we are listening, sir. That is a very nice information we are getting from you. And you are telling from scratch. So it is very good for us, as somebody is writing that we are not from the field directly. So whatever you are telling, we are able to grasp. Sir, these are the comments.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Let's come back to the presentation again then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was just talking about this journey. So you can see all we are actually passing on all these the stages because of the development of the one thing is common. what is common? The word smart. So when we started using the smart network, we jumped from pre-internet era to the internet of content. And when we started be using the smart IT platform and services, we jumped we made a jump from internet of content to the internet of service. Then, and we were actually using phones and its applications since long, but when this word came, smartphones and application, we made a jump from internet of service to the internet of people. Again, when we started with the smart devices and object and tagging, we made a jump from internet of people to the internet of things. And again, you can see in the last, now the data ambient context are each are available and since long, but now this word is coming in smart, means more and more information we have to embed it with the data. Just now, it's not the time to read or exchange or send the data. We actually need to embed it, all the information related to that data that will actually convert it into the smart data, a data which itself explain about its information. That is smart data. So now the people is moving towards that direction. So once we will be capable to produce the smart data, which will have all the information, even a common people will understand that, then we will jump into the next era, and possibly that era may come with a different name, but different companies like Intel Incorporation, that is working with a different kind of name. They are trying to come up with embedded internet, while the Cisco is trying to come up with Internet of Everything. So who knows which technology will come first, or which company will get the advantage or will do the best for the world, and that is why their name will be more popular. So different companies are trying to come up with different kind of technologies. So let's see, and maybe in next 2 or 3 years we will be able to get knowledge about the next era as well. Now, some of the IoT concept which are actually applicable, uh, it's just a kind of information for everyone's. Like when we, you might have heard about the sensing words. Like if somebody says we use sensors. So sensor, why do we use sensors? When we say sensors, so I mean, what are the technologies or what are the devices we are actually working with? So one is the GPS, global positioning systems. We are actually having the smart device with us. We are using RFID, that is radio frequency identification units. We are working with the sensors, or we are working with the nano sensors as well, the small sensors. Similarly, the IoT concepts are also applicable for the networks. Either we are working with the wireless WAN, that is wireless WAN, or wireless personal area networks. So this is wide area networks, but wireless wide area network or wireless personal area networks, or we are working with the internet which is connected with the wireline, or we are connected with the metropolitan area network which is wireless or wireless LAN. So this internet was actually were having all these WAN, MAN, and LAN, and even the personal area network as well. But now we are actually using the wireless interconnections. Information processing for IoT application, we actually need platform where we can actually process the information, because a huge data is being generated. So we actually need devices, or we need storage centers. It's kind of a storage. When you have a large crop in particular segment, so you actually need to have a cold storage to store them. So similarly, with the similar things is happening with the information as well. Okay, these days the information is producing in such a huge amount that we need actually centers to store these information and to process this information, because most of the information is not relevant for us for our day-to-day life. So we have to actually pick the best point of those information, and that is why you might be hearing about these terminologies: data centers, where we store the information; search engines, big search engines are available where you can actually get any kind of information. These search engines are actually in backbone, they are having their own data centers. Smart decisions are being made by the machines only. Information security, data mining. This word is mining means what? When we do mining means something to extract something from the earth. Either we are doing the coal mining or we are doing the limestone mining. The same word is the data mining. आपको data निकालना है from the data centers. The information, the best information which you can extract from the huge data, that is data mining. Then the applications. Application for IoT is smart logistics. Logistic is anything which is related to our day-to-day life is actually possible. Smart grid. Smart grid का concept next slide में मैंने cover किया. Let's wait for it. This is actually related to the supply of energy to the consumer. Then green building, smart transport, and environmental monitors. So, and this is actually going to be the next big application of IoT, and this is actually going to be the next area where more and more professionals will get more and more job opportunities. And which is next is environmental monitoring, because these days we all are actually suffering a lot of because our past work and our environment is getting deteriorated day by day, and now we need to work to build a good environment to live in. And that is why the environmental monitoring or environmental technology is going to be the one of the good platform for newcomers, for new students, where the more and more job opportunity will be available in coming time. However, this environmental monitoring will not be the traditional based monitoring, but it will be related to the technology only. So this I was talking about the smart grid. So when we say the grid, so what we understand when we talk about the electricity supply to the consumers. So from the left side, on the left side, you see the pictures in blue form, where we have large power plants. We generate the power from this, and by using the centralized, mostly national, at the national level, using the centralized distribution systems, using the wires and the cables, we provide this energy to the users. And this is actually a one way, means we are getting the power from the plant and using with different kind of pattern, we are actually providing to the users. While in the smart grid, this is a two way. We are actually providing power to the home, and actually this home can also participate to provide power to the system or to the grid again. Like for an example, I just give an example of MNIT only. Like in MNIT, we have placed solar panels on the rooftop of most of our building. If you will come to the MNIT, you can see most of the rooftops of all the buildings are equipped with the solar panel. Even a new project being started, we are actually making a shade for which will be used as a parking, and but the roof is made up of solar panels only. So, and similarly, we will be making a shade which will connect various hostels. The students can actually go through those shades and they can actually protect them from the heat or sunlight. However, that shade will also be covered with the solar panels only. So we are not going to use any tin shade or any other type of material, but we will be using the solar panels only to design that shade. And how we are actually using a sort of kind of this smart grid concept, because whatever the energy we are generating with the solar panels, we are actually putting this energy back to the grid. Means the main line or main supply line which we are getting for our analytical applications, we are putting this into the main line only. So we are actually contributing an energy. We are producing some sort of energy using the solar panels, and we are putting back into the main line, and that main line is actually being used by us only. So that is how with the smart grid system or a smart grid possibility is what that we all as a user will be participating in the systems. We will be able to give back some energy to the system. So that is the concept for the smart grid. However, it's not been implemented in India fully, but people are thinking into this direction also. Many countries are actually doing this, and they have done tremendously good, because it's not possible for all the countries to produce the power and to accommodate the needs of the people as on today. So that is why the participation from the user side is also needed for to and this concept is known as the smart grid, and IoT is going to play a major role for producing the smart grid. So I will now go a little bit fast, because half of the slides have not been covered, and I have not started with pharmaceutical industry yet. Anyway, how IoT works. So in IoT, we have things, tagging things. So means different devices, and these devices should be traceable, and each device should have some sort of address. So when we talk about the IoT, means IoT is a network where we will be having things or different objects. Sare objects should be traceable. I should be able to trace all the objects, And to trace all the objects, I should know about their addresses. That is technical address. Feeling things. So for feeling things, we have sensors. We place many sensors onto the network, which actually feels, and these are the primary devices to collect data from the environment. Shrinking things, we are actually reducing or miniaturizing these things by with use of nanotechnology. We are trying to reduce the network size. We are trying to reduce the device size as well. Thinking things means using the embedded intelligence in the devices itself and the sensors, we can actually form a network connection to the internet, and it can make things realizing the intelligent controls. Component of an IoT platform would be, we will be having things or device which is to be connected to the networks. We will be having a gateway where the data will be pass on to this gateway, or you can say it will be a kind of connecting pattern in between the devices and the cloud computing center. This cloud will be kind of data storage, and with this data storage we will do the data mining. And what for we will be do this data mining? By the analytics, we will be analyzing this data to get the relevant information, and once we get the relevant information, we will pass on to the user interface. So these are the primary component of a IoT network, that we have things of devices where from we get the data, and with this gateway we send it to the cloud computing center where the data is stored. Then the some sort of analytics done with this data, and the relevant information is being transferred to the user interface. And also apart from this, that means we will be using some sort of hardware devices. We will be using some sort of software which will be making these devices compatible with each other, and we will be having some sort of communication pattern, whether the wireline or the wireless, or we are going to use the satellite, or we are going to use the cellular mobiles. So kind of communication, and then we will be having the platform, like on which platform we are going to use. Similarly, for the IoT service, type of communication is also another important factor. Which communication type we should use? So it depends upon the range and the power consumption. If we have a low power, if we wanted to use lowest power possible, and if we want to cover more and more range, then we have to choose the satellite communication, because satellite can actually cover a bigger area. But if we want to cover only a city, we can actually go for a cellular. Or if we wanted to use only use our IoT application for a campus only, so we can actually use the Wi-Fi networks. Or within the lab only, we can go for other smaller other technologies like Bluetooth technologies, Zigbee technologies, or ANT technologies. However, the power will get increase if we go from left to right, and similarly the range will also decrease like that. Place for IoT ecosystems. This is sort of related to the managing the IoT platforms. Like we can have 4 important factors related to the IoT ecosystems, like services, hardware, software, rules. So I'll just go a little fast with this slide. It's not that much technical. The services means we will be integrating various services. We will be doing some sort of IT management, analytics, and this to provide the security measures. Similarly, for the hardware side, we will be placing some sort of sensors with the systems, some devices, and to design the networks. From the software side, we will be using some sort of platform, then the carriers, the cloud services, and to provide various application or to generate new apps. And to frame the rules, we have some sort of standards which are applicable to communicate between the devices. Then we have industry groups which will decide about the rules, because if 5 industries are participating in providing a IoT ecosystem, then they have to design, they have to sort out, they have to come up with some sort of guidelines to follow. Similarly, there are government agencies which will also restrict the IoT services in some particular areas. Some of the various interesting stats as on today. So in 2003, the world population was 6.3 billion, and the connected devices was 500 million. 500 million. 2010 में this number gone to 6.8, the population, but the number of connected devices were 12.5. So here on the right side you can see a person connected with the connected devices per person. Like in 2003, only 0.08, in 2010, 1.84, in 2015, 3.47, and now it's somewhere around 6.56. The world population is 7.6, and the connected devices already crossed a number 50 billion. So you can see uh, it's very interesting and it's amazing to see this data. But the real problem, since so many devices, this much number of devices are connected with the internet, that is 50 billions, itne devices are connected. So just think about the data which they are actually creating every second, and think about the platform which we actually need to save or store that data. And now think about the analytics which we need to do this with this much of data. Just think about the YouTube. People are actually sorry, uploading lots of video every day, and YouTube people, they have to be very careful that the people should not upload a different kind of video which is actually not acceptable in society. And all across the globe, people are uploading their videos, and the YouTube team needs to analyze their videos first before making them possible to upload their videos. So this is only one example of YouTube. Now think about the Facebook, the Twitter, everything, and we, being a user, we start firing on YouTube, Twitter. Why do you people are doing this? Why you are allowing to circulate the fake news or a communal news? But we are not thinking about the data, how much data these connected devices are actually producing every second, and how many people we actually need. And that is why since we all are in engineering college, and we actually need to tell our student that which field is emerging and where the more and more jobs will be created. So these days you will be listening more and more jobs are actually coming into the data mining or data analytics or the cloud computing centers, because we actually need many more people to work with these kind of problem, to tackle these kind of problem which today's internet world is facing. Part of industrial revolution, yes, IoT is also a part of industrial revolution, because if we go back to the industrial revolution way back in 1784, the first industrial revolution was driven with the water and steam power. We started producing some sort of energy using the water and steam. Second industrial revolution was based on conveyor belt and mass production, when we started and somewhere in 1870. Then 1969, third industrial revolution was taken care of by the automatic production using electronic ITs. Electronic circuit and IT were actually made available to the industry way back in 1970 to produce, to have some sort of automatic machines to help them to producing the products. However, in fourth industrial revolution, which is going now, the use of cyber physical systems. So we are actually using the internet also, and we are using the machines also, connecting with each other and try to get the productivity better in terms of the money, in terms of the time, in terms of the human saving. So now the industrial revolution, which is going in from its fourth era, is actually working closely with the IoT as well. This is kind of future ahead. What will happen when 50 billion machines becomes connected? So already they are connected, but if they connected all together and they start working together, so what will happen? So this is a kind of a graph. It's not known, not needed to explain to you. You can easily understand this thing, that operational theaters is virtualized, analytics becomes predictive. Now this line is very important. Analytics becomes predictive. Do you know we are actually going through the COVID data these days? So how do we get to know? People are coming up with, and they are stating, okay, India will get its peak on September. So when we were in June, somebody predicted that the India will be the COVID number of COVID cases in India will be on peak by the mid of September, and this has been proven correct also. In September last week, the number of COVID patients were maximum in India, and then the graph is actually reducing. And now the people are similarly, the people have predicted using these kind of data analytics only. They have predicted that the many countries will have the second stage of COVID, third stage of COVID. Now the graph will rise again. The graph will go down. So this kind of analytics is what they are so accurate that we are in a position to predict. So they are actually kind of internet horoscope. So we are doing a kind of predictions also with the data analytics. Employees increases productivity for industry. If we can connect these machines, we can actually increase the productivity also. And there are many more things will happen if we are capable to connect all these 50 machines. But again, the big problem would be to tackle with the data they are going to generate, and to store that data and to analyze that data, because as on today, 80% of the data is actually of no use. So for a productive application. So out of that 100% data, to get the good or best 20% data, it's pretty tough task. It's a summary. Why IoT? Because it provides a dynamic control of industry and daily life. It will improve the resource utilization ratio. It's going to better our relationship with the nature. It's going to form an intellectual entity by integrating human society and physical systems. So earlier we were feeling a connection, or we were having a feeling for our relatives only. Like being a man, I was more close to my brothers, I was more close to my sisters, my parents. But don't you think so? Now these days we are also close to our mobile phones. We are more close to our laptop. If somebody touches our laptop, we just comes up in a different kind of behavior. If somebody touches our mobile, we feel very bad. So we are actually getting a kind of relationships with our devices as well. Universal transport and internet working, accessibility and usability would be the benefit for this, and it will be acting as a technology integrator, because IoT is going to, what is IoT? It is actually integrating various technologies, the internet, the machine to machine, the wearable devices, the human to human interaction. It is actually working as a integrating platform for other technologies. Important applications, good for consumers, good for retailers, good for medical line, good for military application, good for industrial applications, automotive companies, environmental monitoring, agricultural side also. So there are a lot of tremendous application of IoT. Each and every field is going to get these benefits. So in coming time, nobody is going to say goodbye to IoT. Even everybody will welcome the IoT, because all sectors are going to get benefited from this technology. Applications which are in queue, or some of them already might be happening or might have been implemented, like artificial intelligence and advanced machine learning. So these days, these two technologies are, like being a teacher, we feel a little awkward that why we are not having so knowledge about artificial intelligence and advanced machine learning, because these days all the new teachers or new faculty members are coming into this area only. The student wanted to do more work with the artificial intelligence and machine learning only. So these are the application in queue which we will be which we will be using with the IoT applications to improve further. Intelligent things. Now this is another thing. We have Internet of Things. Now this is intelligent things. Virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain. Already many universities started MTech courses on blockchain. I've seen the like MIT University or some private university have already started master courses on blockchain. That is distributed lasers. No, this is distributed lasers. You know the laser, in Hindi we call it as bahi khata. जो एक पुराने businessman के पास, छोटे से shopkeeper के पास, if you go into the jewelry shop, you'll see a red color of a laser, a bahi khata, in which he noted everything, किसको कितना business दिया, किस दिन कितना item sale हुए, कितने item receive हुए. So now using the IoT, the blockchain, we will be coming up with the virtual lasers. Means machine will be taking care of this. Actually, nobody will be entering entry. Nobody will be writing entries. It will be done through the machines only, and this will be kind of virtuous laser in between you and me. Means a businessman and the client. There will be a laser maintained in between the businessman and the client, and nobody else will know about that. Similarly, conversational systems, digital platform, adaptive security architectures, digital health, big data, supercomputing. Economic solutions provided by the IoT, like in aviation, as soon as we have started implementing the IoT, we are actually saving our fuel by 1% fuel saving. When we say 1% fuel saving means we are actually in next 15 years or so, we are going to reduce, or we are going to save 30 billion US dollar. Similarly, in power, where we use the gas-fired generations, we can save 1% fuel saving, and the total amount saved would be more than $60 billion. Healthcare, rail, oil and gas. So by implementing the IoT services, we are actually going to reduce on various expenditure or various expenses. And this reduction, since aviation, power, healthcare, rail, and oil and gas, these are the applications which are being utilized by the most population of the country. So that is why even this 1% of saving will actually turn back into a big amount of saving in next 10 to 15 years, because the users are more connected with these applications. There are some limitations and challenges with IoT application as well, and people are actually working on these limitations to overcome all these, and that is why they need new force to join them to come up with these challenges. Like the one issue would be the connectivity, how to provide the connectivity to all. Internet of things is good, internet of everything is good, but we actually need to provide a better connectivity, which is actually not possible as on today in various countries, because every country is having the different kind of demographic states, their richness or the poorness. So they need to invest huge money to get better connectivity. So this connectivity is a major problem to start to begin with the IoT application. Business model, what kind of the business model, because different industry will have a different kind of needs. So we need to accommodate all their needs. Interoperability, how, like once the IoT will be implemented in a particular segments, then who will be responsible to operate in a best way. The awareness, we need to make our people more aware about this technology. Security, and this is going to be a big threat for the IoT application as well, until unless we are producing any environment which is more secure and safe for the users. Users are not going to believe on that environment, and security is a major threat. And since we are talking about the talking about a topic which is related to the pharmaceutical application, now the security, for an example, you might be hearing like there is presidential election is going in America, and the one of the candidates, which is currently the President Trump, he had given a different kind of station about the Chinese, that the Chinese has stolen their COVID vaccine development process, and how they are stolen their COVID vaccine development process. If it actually had happened, so probably might be because of the Internet of Things applications only, and this is actually going to be a very great risk for pharmaceutical industry, because all the pharmaceutical industries are actually trying to come up with new drugs. सबको अपना drugs नया drugs लाना है, the new vaccination program, and everybody wanted to make money, because these pharmaceutical industries are also working to come up with new drugs, to come up with the new vaccines only because of the money. And since these processes are a bit longer process, and vaccine developments can take from 6 months to 15 years or even more to develop a vaccine, and they have to be very careful to keep the information intact into their labs. But since now everything is connected via the internet, so it is very difficult for them to keep that information intact to their lab. And even the rivals industries or the rival companies are trying or putting their best effort to steal that information from their labs. And recently, for this COVID vaccine development program, only the America has announced that the Chinese had taken some sort of information or steal some sort of information from their labs for their own COVID vaccine development program. So these are the big countries. These are countries which are already rich in technology, and so we are nowhere in front of them. But so the country like us, we have to be more safe and more secure. We have to be more serious for these kind of programs. The another the limitation and challenges, big data. As I was talking about, the number of more and more data will be generated through these applications. The problem would be to store them, to analyze them. Some other challenges: scalability, technological standardization, software complexity, power supply, fault tolerance. Power supply will be a big problem. You always need to be get connected with the power. So yesterday only the power was not available in Mumbai for 2 hours, and a lot of problem faced by the people there. So power supply, continuous power supply would be necessary for IoT application. But best utilization of IoT application. Revenue forecasting, I will not go into it. There are many sectors where people are actually started earning revenues because of this IoT applications only. Now the IoT application for healthcare. So in this, you'll see two scenario. On the one is the left side and the other one is the right side. On the left side scenario, I'm sure everybody of us are aware of this kind of hospital beds. So if you see on the left side, there is a bed in the hospital which is having a device which is close to this bed and which is actually used to monitor the patient's health. So now in a bigger picture, this device has been shown here. So this device is actually monitoring the health of the patients lying on this bed, and this information is passed on to the network, and this network is connected to devices. One is the server or the control management solution, and the other one is the hospital. And in this hospital, the doctors are or the medical practitioners are sitting in their office, and they are actually getting this information with this use of these machines directly from the bed. So they need not to go physically to the at the patient sites. They need not to go to the physically at the patient site. They need not to go and check his condition. They are actually getting all the information through these machines via the internet. Similarly, this same information can be sent back to the clinical laboratories for further study of the data generated by these machines, or if he or she needs to get tested again, or what kind of treatment should he or she should be given. This information can be given from the clinic laboratories to the hospital via the wireless area, wide area network, that is WAN. So this is how the internet or the Internet of Things can be applicable for medical application as well, and we can actually get the things done on a right way. Like these days in COVID era, even the doctors are scary or they are fearing to go nearby to the patient if somebody is infected with the COVID virus. So see, doctors are also the human being. So they also having a fear to get contacted with this virus from the patients. They don't want to go to the near to the patients. So that is why we can understand how much this technology is going to benefit for all of us, because the because patients also have a full right to get treated by the doctors, and doctors have the full right to keep himself away from the patient. So machine can actually interconnect in between these two, and we can actually get the things right on the track. Similarly, on the right side, we with the use of the wireless networks and with the use of the Internet of Things application, this medical practitioners, which is lying with, which is sitting with her mobile, can actually track the fitness detail of her client, can actually contact with the bigger hospitals, and can actually get the medical or health monitoring of a patient which who is sitting at home just with the connection with the internet IoT applications. So these are the Internet of Things application in pharmaceuticals lines. We can have we can apply the Internet of Things application in all sectors, even in pharmaceutical industry, like in customer services. Their customer care staff will be get connected with the patient via the IoT services, and to reschedule or to schedule the appointment, and even to monitor their medical device or to maintain it. Similarly, we can use the IoT application for manufacturing of the drugs. We can use the IoT for distributing these drugs into the markets or to the pharmacy. Similarly, we can use this IoT for the patient which is sitting at the home by putting certain devices in his body, by implanting some devices in his body or outer or even at the inner side. We can actually monitor his condition, and that information can be passed on to the healthcare provider also, who can actually treat him or her from a remote place with the use of this application. So these are the common application you can actually think of. So whatever idea, whatever application you can keeps in mind for your pharmaceutical application, that is actually possible with the Internet of Things as well. We need not, these days we need not to go back to the laboratories just for our blood testing. There are machines, there are small sensors which can actually take a small drop of a blood from our side, and we can do it at home. And this sensors or this machine will send this information to the laboratory, and laboratory will send you the report within few minutes, that and that too without calling you at the laboratory site. So that is possible because of the Internet of Things. Many countries are already implementing this. So whatever I have read on the first slide is actually written over here, so I will not repeat the same thing. Some of the IoT-based smart devices you will read of this organ in a chip. So we are going to use the electronic chips, and we are providing many more information or many more sensors which can actually monitor the patient conditions, and we can use it for real life diagnosis scenario. And that this organ in a chip application is already gaining many applications. Chip in a pill, you might have heard about this digital pill or chip in a pill. यानी एक medicine के अंदर, एक गोली के अंदर we will place a sensor or a small chip, or which is also called as a digital pill. We will insert this pill inside the body of the human. वो उस गोली को खाएगा, then that pill will go to the stomach. This pill, since it will have a digital IC or it will have a sensor, so we would need a power to work with the sensor. This sensor will get the power from the stomach fluid. Any stomach में जो fluid है, it will get the power from that only, and it will work from that. And that sensor can actually monitor the condition of the patient from inside the stomach, and it will tell us whether the pill, whether the material of the pill is actually suitable for the patient or not, whether it is affecting the organs or not, whether it is providing some relief or not, or this sensor will actually tell the healthcare professional inside from his body that he actually needs more pill or lesser pill, or don't even need any pill. So that is also going to be possible with certain this kind of digital pill. So that is all because of the IoT application in pharmaceutical era. Similarly, we are already using wearable devices. We can have the kind of various devices which we can wear, and we can actually monitor our own health, and we can pass on this information using the IoT application to our healthcare professionals who will be dealing with this information, and will tell us on time what should do to be more fit. There is a IoT architecture for pharmaceuticals lines. I will not go into the technical detail of it. Like we have a physical layer, connectivity layer, and cloud layer. When I say the physical layer, all the hardware and the software and the sensing devices would be at the physical layer. They will collect the information. They will send it to the connectivity layer. This connectivity layer will send it to the cloud layer, where all the information will be stored, and the security, risk, and management will be done at the cloud layer. Why this security and risk management? See, when we are using the IoT application for monitoring the health of a patient, so there are some diseases that the patient don't want to reveal. कुछ ऐसी diseases हैं कि patient don't want to reveal. He don't want to tell about these diseases that I am suffering for this and that. So again, since we are working with the IoT, so for him, this has become a very great issue. The information must be safe and secure. The information for a patient health should be go to the doctors only. No one should be able to read that information. Only a concerned person should be able to get that information. So security and risk management is also very important for IoT architecture, right? I'll not cover this. These are only the theoretical issues. I just come on to the main headlines of the benefits for pharmaceutical industry. Industrial mechanics and maintenance is possible with this IoT application, because even in the pharmaceutical industry, people have to work with the machines, and they have to work with the maintenance of this machine. The IoT is going to provide solution for that. Material tracking and management, since they need to come up with new drugs, and for that they need materials, so they can easily do the material tracking and management of man and machine with use of IoT. Supply chain and logistics. Similarly with other business, like in other businesses, the IoT is helping to efficiently use the supply chain and to provide the better logistic. Similarly, the pharmaceutical industry will get these benefits. Regulatory compliance consistency, it will be easy for them to implement the regulatory measures while producing their drugs right inside into the production process health. They can actually have a right or a proper eye on their production process health, whether they are actually producing the pills or their drugs in a best environment or not. So IoT can actually help them by monitoring the environment inside the industry, which is also very important. And these days, many pharmaceutical industries are trying to come up with these smart pills and implanted devices, which can be used to monitor the health of the patient, and that too again will be work with the IoT application only. Some smart wearable devices are already into the consumer market. Many of us are already possibly using this. Even these days, the mobile phones are coming up with some sort of wearable health monitoring devices, and using more application within your mobile, you can actually get report for your own health through those mobile applications as well. So it's a very interesting diagram, possibly the last few slides of my presentation. So being a human being, how much we are safe and secure with the help of the IoT. So you can see everything, now we have everything to cover on our body just to get our body fit and fine and to track our fitness. Like we can have a smart ring. Up in ungli mein we can have in a figure we can have a ring, a smart finger, smart bracelet we are using, GPRS or SGPCS baby control. We can put some information on the baby's bag and we can get the information right away to our mobile. Smart bag, smart pants, smart socks. Even the people are coming up with the smart socks, smart shoes, Bluetooth key tracker, smart watch, smart shirt, smart glasses. So everything we have already covered. So sooner or later we are going to wear some of these devices in our life. This is talk about the future of the IoT. Obviously, it will be the same. These are the references for my talk. Thank you very much. It's already 1 o'clock. I'm not sure how many of you are actually still listening to me. Good day. So let's have a discussion if you wanted to ask or if you wanted to add any information with my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Any participant, if want to say something, yeah, please invite it. Shri Prasad Sharma, sir, I can view you. So any queries?
No issue. This topic, I don't think I have covered some of the technical information related to this topic. It was only a general information. So more or less, I tried to cover many of the things. But if anyone wanted to add some features or of IoT with pharmaceutical industry, I would also like to go through that.
Sir, I would like to ask, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, please.
Sir, actually, when we are making a certain IoT-based pills disposable system, means suppose every day if one patient is having a certain description to taking pills, so at that time how this IoT can work out, means whether that system should be maintained at the patient home side or it should be located at the pharmaceutical store side. So that so likewise right now in COVID-19 what happened that if they are home quarantine and they will have to take medicines on a regular basis if the symptoms are severe, instead of they are supposed to be in hospitalized, they will be there at the home as a quarantine period. So at that time how this IoT will help out to taking medicines in a regular.
Okay, fine. Actually, since you are talking about the COVID only, so let's start with the COVID example only. Like in COVID, when do we, what we are hearing or what we have read so far about the COVID symptoms. So when we are supposed to be to contact the hospital, That means when we feel severity in breathing, right? Or when we feel high fever for few minutes, for few more days, and if we are not able to reduce our fever, or if
Yeah.
our condition is getting worsened in terms of coughing, मतलब हमारी खांसी रुक ही नहीं रही है. So these are the symptoms of these things, right? So as on today, part of IoT we are already in using. We are having mobile devices, we are having the internet, we are getting this information from the internet that if you become severe in any of these symptoms, with any of these symptoms, you please go back to the hospital and or contact your doctor. Similarly, we are having the mobiles. But now, what exactly would be the use of the IoT that we are actually in India is not able to utilize the IoT in a fully way, because again, it will be a little expensive matter for all of us. We are not in a position to, neither the government nor we are in a position to bear this much of expenses. Otherwise, there are machines which will be connected with the body, and whatever these symptoms like the fever, the coughing, and the breathing system can be monitored by these machines only, and remotely or with using the wireless connection. These machines can pass on this information to your doctor, and your doctor can easily monitor regularly your positions. Like even if your body is hot because of the fever, so this machine will get to know about the fever. It will tell the doctor. It will pass on the information to the doctor about your body fever, about your body temperature at regular intervals, and your doctor will realize whether you actually need to get hospitalized or not with those machines only. But since we are living in India, so it's not possible for us, not even for our government to take care of, to implement the IoT services for all of us. So abhi to we can only get this information from our internet sources with the use of WhatsApp. That if you are feeling your symptoms in a more severe way, better to go to the hospital or better talk to your doctor. So that is how somehow the internet technologies are already helping us. Come se kam, if you see with the help of the WhatsApp or with the help of the internet only, I guess the whole India know about the Kara, or the whole
Yeah.
India know about the Nimu Pani and ye le lo, wo le lo. So at least we all are trying to utilize these services and are capable to protect ourselves from COVID so far with use of these only.
Sir,
So
you are very sir. Sorry to interrupt. You are very true that Indian constraint is somewhat difficult to establish, but now government is also starting their work. Right now, I am working with medical imaging with the IoT system, in which we have to take first opinion of the doctor whether any emergency of operation or not from the rural area. So there are certain healthcare center like Adani group has already established rural center with IoT system, in
okay.
which they are just giving one initiative, that is they are just calling Bombay's or any metropolitan cities doctors for first decision whether there is any emergency or not. Only that report has been sent, and they are just taking one initiative that one precautionary action has been taken at rural area, and then
Mhm.
after they will be reachable within 2-3 days to that metropolitan city. So people are trying, but I am just thinking, if persons who are very inefficient for just contacting all this person, all this facility, so at that time how this IoT will help out for taking that medicine on a regular basis.
Mhm.
So you have correctly said that this is very expensive at the matter, but a reminder can be done at the in home place, so that they can just take it out as a regular basis pills.
Yes, Ms. Joshi. Thank you very much for adding this information because I was not knowing about this Adani hospital systems.
Yeah,
Anyway, you can just think about a person like who is deaf and dumb, who is not able to speak, or who is not able to
yeah, yeah.
tell us about his or her feeling, that
Hmm.
what kind of symptoms he's feeling more now. So a machine
Hmm.
can be attached with his body, and which can actually tell us that what is the situation inside his body,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
or her body. So at least we will see more or less within this life only, we all will be seeing all these developments. That's sure, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll be using it.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your kind information.
Okay, so let us close now.
Thank you,
Or
sir.
any more questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for like accepting our request to come and share such a good information with us. I thank all the participants also for participating in this session, and thank you, Dr. Gancham Singh, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. So we mark end of this session here, and the next session will start at 2:15 as usual.
Thank you, Shyamsundar. Thank you all. Good day,
Thank you, sir.
everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Right, sir. Thank you, everyone.